Hello and thank you for joining me again. So today I'm going to be making a birthday card for my niece who is heavily into horses. It's a family thing. So I've got this die which I've just laid on a piece of black card so that you can see. It's a silhouette of a running horse. So I thought I'd make a card using that today. So out of that black I have cut the die out. So I'm really pleased with that. That's a very, very nice silhouette. So I'm going to use that. And I thought I'd give the Brushos another outing. So off camera, I have prepared this panel, which is 4 inches by 5 inches. And I have, with a brush and the Brushos in some water, done a watercolour wash across in green and yellow. And then along the bottom here I've made it a little bit darker with some alcohol markers, and in the top left hand corner I've used some Versafine clear ink to make a sun, the indication of a sun rather than the sun. So it's a little bit of a mixture of all techniques. So the plan is to pop the silhouette of the horse on there so you can see a little bit of the green coming up under the ground on the silhouette. So I thought that that could be the whole front of the card, but I wanted to layer it up on something, and I know that yellow and green go quite well with purple. So I've got a piece of this patterned card from a works pad, which is Hummingbird and their beautiful colours. So this is a sheet from there, and that's the main sheet that I've cut that from. So I'm going to layer that on there, and then I've cut a card base, which is a top fold, and I've cut that from a sheet of A3 300 gram white card. That's also from the works, and I think that's drawing card, so it's for pencils and watercolour. So I've cut that, and then that will sit on the whole of the front of the card. So I'm going to put this together on there, and then I'll show you what I've done for a sentiment in the centre. Okay, so those matte layers are stuck on. The yellow and green are stuck on to the purple with double-sided tape because I didn't know how the Collall glue would affect that panel, and I haven't really got time to make another one. The horse silhouette is going on here, which I really like on the front on its own. But I quite like the idea of having maybe an indication of a bird or two in the background. So I have the Made to Make subscription, and in addition to, on the stamps are these birds. It's a seaside edition. So I've taken those stamps and I've popped them on a block. And before I stick the horse down, I'm going to stamp some of these birds, but I want to partially stamp, so I'm going to use some washi tape to mask some off when I put the ink on. So I've got a little bit of washi here. I only really want, for over here I only want one, so I'm going to mask 2 of them off just whilst I put the ink on. Those 2 are masked off. And I'm going to use London Fog because I don't want them, Memento London Fog, because I don't want them very dark. So I've inked that, and now we take the washi tape off. We stamp our little bird. So you can see there's a little bird there, and I've literally only picked the little one. So I'm going to give that a clean, and then we'll do some on the other side. So I'm going to pop that back. And let's mask off. Let's mask off the big one at the bottom. Let the washi off. And there are the other 2. So simple way of getting a bit more use out of there. I mean, I could have used them as the 3, but I wanted them split up. So just simply masking them off with some washi tape or some dye tape or even sellotape. And then you get a completely different effect. So that's the front of the card. I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased. So inside, I've got this die, which is Happy Birthday, and it's got a shadow die. So I thought the shadow could be in the same purple as this matte layer. So I've done that. That's this shadow die. And the Happy Birthday, I wanted to pull the outside in. So the plan is for this to go in here. And then the words Happy Birthday, what I've done is in a piece of the same card as the card blank, with my alcohol markers, I picked a green and a yellow that match the front. And I just did big stripes across it. And then I cut out the Happy Birthday using that. It looks a mess when you do it, but when you cut it out, it looks great. So I'm going to put that on there, and then I'm going to stick it in here, and I'm going to come back and show you the finished card. Okay, so here's the finished card. Quite a quick one, to be fair. The Brushos don't take an awful lot of time to go off if you use minimum amount of water. So I have a water spray this size, and I put 4 or 5 sprays of that on the glass mat, and then just tapped some of the Brusho powders into it and used a flat brush just to brush that across. That dried in 15 to 20 minutes, enough for me to then put some alcohol markers on and stamp onto it. The die cut takes no time at all. I run that through my Big Shot and again very quickly cut a Happy Birthday die. I'm really pleased with that. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed today. If you have, please consider giving it a like and subscribing if you haven't already done so. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.